Hello, everyone. Yes, you are welcome to this live session. So, guys, a lot has been going on since after the Supreme Court gave their ruling, the long awaited ruling. At least the tension has been doused, Everybody, most people have been relieved. I mean, many people have been relieved because of this judgment. Yes, we all know that they gave the faces you can see on my screen, they've all gotten their ruling. So at least they now know if they are legitimate governors or not. And that is what we wanted all this while. We needed this ruling to happen. We all know that we cannot really trust our judiciary 100%. Nigerians, you people know. But we wanted them to give this judgment so that we'll know where we are today, because Nigeria is just a confused country. The policies are not working, nothing is happening, and people will tell you that yes, because the Supreme Court has not finished with all these political rulings, and that is why we don't really have a direction. But finally, all these things have been brought to rest. So we are going to be looking at some of the things that happened and what Nigerians have got to say. We have one of our SAN here who has got some information to pass across to Nigerians, and I really want you to listen to what he has got to say. Let's just take a very short clip from what he got to say, and then we'll continue.
Today, and my heart has been bleeding. People voted for by the electorate were removed by the Court of Appeal, which had no jurisdiction over the matter. I am sad about it, and I don't think it should ever happen again at all.
So, guys, this is coming from a renowned lawyer. We know him. He's a constitutional lawyer. He's somebody we all know. He stands in terms of law. And, Nigerians are shocked. We are really shocked as regards to the judgment that the Supreme Court gave in contradiction from what the appeal court gave to Nigerians. Honestly, so many people have been reacting. In the first instance, we are not supposed to be going from one court to the other. Should Nigeria and the Nigerian politicians, should they stick with what the electoral law says, we will not be moving from one court to the other. But because we have people who are desperate, they want to get there at all costs, grab it, snatch it, run with it. Power is never served a la carte. That is why we are where we are today. So after the appeal court gave its ruling, the Supreme Court has come out to counter most of the things that the appeal court gave. And Nigerians are like, what? What were we supposed to be spending this huge amount of money? You may not know what it means to go to court. When they say go to court, you think it's a chicken change. It's not. It takes a lot of, financial stress for you to come out of it. And do you know who suffers it? Check out these governors. They are all sitting governors. Do you know who is suffering from the cost of this go to court? It is you and I, because they must have used state money to fund whatever they did. You can't tell me they funded it from their pockets. No, go to court. It is you and I that they keep dragging, these politicians. And the appeal court gave judgment that is far away from what the Supreme Court just gave yesterday. And let me share with you guys, this is what this person said. This woman led the appeal court to disenfranchise the Plateau people. Now she has been exposed and utterly disgraced by the Supreme Court. I'm ashamed on her behalf. You can see so many people are referring back to the judgment that came from the appeal court. Almost everything that the appeal court was like, remove that of Kano, remove the man in Plateau, remove the person here, remove all those things. The Supreme Court contradicted them. And this lawyer is saying that he's happy with what the Supreme Court ruling has to say, as in the judgment that the Supreme Court gave. And then somebody equally made this tweet. I don't know if you can see this very well, but let me read it out. He said, Peter Obi should not waste his time, energy, resources to contest in 2027 presidential election under this INEC and Judiciary. If he does it, he's going to lose woefully. And then him, the owner of this tweet, said, I will not support him. It's a waste of time. All Nigerians need now is electoral reform and judicial reform. That is what we need at the moment. So this person is saying that Peter Obi is a credible leader. He should be the person Nigerians should be looking forward to embrace should 2027, approaches. But with this INEC and with this kind of judiciary you have today, Nigerians don't expect anything different from what we've seen in the last election, honestly. So you can see that most of the rulings that the appeal courts gave, the Supreme Court said, in short, you need to listen to people that have really given in-depth analysis of that judgment, that the Supreme Court was really hard on the decisions of the appeal court. And then you tell me what is happening in our judiciary. Why is it that people will see the law from this angle, then another judges will see it again from the other angle, just because of pressure from our politicians? Nothing else. It's just because of the pressure coming from them. They will always want their bidding to be followed by these judges. And don't forget, this was one of the statements that was made by this retired judge. He said Nigerians now hate Supreme Court because it's occupied by judicial bandits, bribe takers. This is coming from Justice Datijo. That is it. It's not just a matter of the Supreme Court. This one now that the Supreme Court gave, some people have hailed them, although not everybody is hailing this judgment, because you know that of Lagos State did not all go well. And like this person tweeted, he said, breaking, Supreme Court affirms Abba Yusuf of NNPP as the winner of Kano State governorship election, dismisses Badebo Rottweiler's case against APC Sawolu. You can see that of the Labour Party did not really favor the Labour Party, but we know that there were so many evidences, especially in the aspect of the deputy governor. He has this U.S. citizenship, meaning he has sworn allegiance to the United States. And we all know the process. For you to even pick up the nationality of the United States, you must have dropped that of Nigeria for you to pick up that of the US. So it means that at this moment, he is not a Nigerian. And that was one of the strongest points that the Labour Party candidate took to court. But all of a sudden, they struck that out, upholding Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the governor of the state. So there are mixed reactions. Some people have welcomed this ruling because almost all the governors that were, the appeal was still being awaited for, almost all of them were asked to return. You can see all of them. And that of the APC in Ebonyi State, there was also this controversy around his nomination. It has to do with, during the primaries, the pre-election matter. But at the end of the day, the Supreme Court has upheld. Why it is not even necessary for us to start diving deep into all these things is because you know that the Supreme Court has the final say. Once they've ruled, they've ruled. So no matter how you try to dig it and dig it in or dig it out, it will not even make any change. But I think I have to agree with the person that tweeted that Peter Obi should not even waste his time going to run should there be nothing done on our electoral act. And also, if the INEC of today is still the INEC that is going to be existing until 2027 presidential election. So there is that issue. Sorry for that interruption. I just wanted to say that, honestly, the issue on ground now for you and I, Nigerians, is for us to start airing our voices on electoral reform. Let's reform it first. Don't bother about the interference of the politicians because they will always want to make our laws to become useless. They will always want to break the law and still they will not be held accountable. Some people will tell you that even should the electoral law be reformed, who is going to obey it? Who is going to stick to what the electoral law says? Because we have desperate politicians, and that is what is keeping Nigeria crawling. So I'm going to allow you listen to what Mr. Mike Ozekume has got to say, because like I told you guys, he has got some important information to share with Nigerians. And I tell you, we must not keep our hands as in just sit down as if we are not still needed. Even though this judgment has been passed, I tell you that you and I, we still have a lot of work to do. Like I showed you last night that Sowore is saying that they affirming the sitting governor of Kano State is not because they didn't know he won from the onset. They knew. They just wanted to hijack that position. But thank God that they were afraid of what the consequences may have become. Like he said, they affirmed Kanu for NNPP, not because, possibly he wanted to say not because they didn't wanted, they affirmed Kanu for NNPP, not because they wanted to, sorry for that, not because they wanted to, but because they dread the consequences. That is what Shore said. So that they allowed Mr. Abba Yusuf to come back or to stay as the governor, not because they didn't know he won from the onset, but because they dread the consequences. Because the Northerners, for them, all this riot or protest, they are not afraid of what may come out of it. And they were already a kind of giving, as in, saying what their mind is, that should this judgment go the other way, that there will be no peace in Kano. And you know that Kano State is very, very important, especially in the north, in terms of stability and all that. And possibly these judges didn't want any uproar to happen. And that was what led to them upholding. But I tell you, some of these judgments went really well. They went well. So if we have judges who can really sit down and think and follow the Constitution and don't listen to these politicians, I don't think we are supposed to be where we are today. So let me allow you to listen to what Mr. Mike Ozekome has got to say, and drop your thoughts in the comment section. Also, don't forget to give this video a like. Most times I don't even ask you guys to like this video, but I tell you, it's one of the things that helps in boosting any of these live sessions. YouTube want to see those likes. They want to see the comments too coming, and that alone is a good indication. It's a good indication for YouTube to know that, that people are interested in what you are saying and they want to boost that information for it to reach to other people. So I want to help in liking this video, and don't forget to drop your comment too in the comment section below as I introduce to you Mr. Mike Ozekome. Just listen to his own line of thoughts and let me know what you think about this.
I'll be one of those who feel that many judgments should not go to the Supreme Court for obvious reasons. The docket of the Supreme Court is overcrowded. The justices are overwhelmed. For example, today there were 8 justices sitting, and of the 8 justices, at least 6 of them sat in all the appeals. For God's sake, they are human beings like us. These are family members. These are fathers, grandfathers. These are brothers. These are sisters. These are mothers. And they seem to have devoted the whole of their life since the pre-election petition started in September 2022 up to now to nothing but serving the nation. So the important point I made here, which I want to reiterate, is that it may be, we may have to look at it again, whether some of these election petitions should actually end at the Court of Appeal level. I was one of those who felt that yes, the Supreme Court should not be bothered with too many of these, that House of Assembly, House of Reps, and Senate could end at the Court of Appeal level. But from what we have seen, particularly in the Plateau scenario, there was great miscarriage of justice. The Supreme Court today spared no words. They used legal and judicial koboko to flog the Court of Appeal for what they termed miscarriage of justice, perverse judgments. In many of the cases, particularly in the Plateau State, 2 senators' positions were reversed, 3 House of Representatives were reversed, about 11 House of Assembly were reversed. If all these cases have gone to the Supreme Court, all of them will have their seats retained. On what ground were they reversed? The Court of Appeal surprisingly was talking about saying PDP had no structures in Plateau State. When the PDP structures, membership of a political party of the PDP, nomination, congresses, primaries, when did they become part and parcel of matters that the court can have jurisdiction? Today, the Supreme Court said not even the election tribunal had jurisdiction, let alone the Court of Appeal, and they voided the decision on the governorship. They would also have voided the decision on the 2 senatorial candidates, the 3 House of Reps, and the 11 House of Assemblies, injustice has been done to them. What is the remedy now? That is why I'm going to now review my stance with all respect, humility, as a constitutional lawyer, of saying that, yes, these cases should go to the Supreme Court as the final court of the land. We saw grave injustice today, and my heart has been bleeding. People voted for by the electorate were removed by the Court of Appeal, which had no jurisdiction over the matter. I am sad about it, and I don't think it should ever happen again at all.
Well, you say that the appeal...
So, guys, I have something to say here. We all know that when Peter Obi made his petition, when he's presented his petition, one of the things that Mr. Peter Obi argued was, on the case of Shetima's double nomination. And that issue was dismissed even during the time of the PDP. The PDP equally made mention of that. And it was dismissed that was even a pre-election matter. And pre-election matters are handled by the parties. You as an external body or external person, you don't need to come into a family affair. Let me just use that. As a family affair, you don't even need to come and say anything. But we saw that in other states. In other states like Ebony, even in this plateau, do you know what they were referring to? They said PDP had no structure. PDP, this is just a party issue. And now the appeal court on that basis removed the governor of Plateau State. So you can see these are judges. The law that applied to Mr. A will not apply to Mr. B. When it got to the president and his vice, they told us that, in short, they trashed out the matter. They said nobody should even go there because it has to do with Tinubu. But when it got to other people on that same ground, people were disqualified. People were removed, denied their position. That is the kind of judiciary. And that is why people are like lamenting. Yes, these rulings have come, but we've got a long way to go, Nigerians. We have judges who do not even care about some of this ruling. Can you imagine since after February 25th that we had this presidential election, then we now had the governorship election. Nigeria has known no peace in terms of all these petitions and all that. They've been ups and down. The country is not moving forward. Look at the Naira. The Naira has got to, somebody told me that Naira has once got to 1,500 Naira per dollar. Although now it has come down. Like today I heard it's 1,350 Naira per $1. When Buhari took over, possibly it was around 400 or maybe 2 something. When Buhari took over from Jonathan, how many years after? Naira is going close. Very soon it might even be 2,000 Naira per $1. Then Ghana must go to even go and buy bread. Nigerians, we are in a real mess. And these are judges, they are not helping out issues. Because when they give these judgments, against the will of the people, the whole environment will be tensed up. Nothing will be working until these things are settled. Thank God some of these things have been settled. But I tell you, there are still a lot of controversies around this very judgment that was given.
Court level, there's a tendency towards judicial rascality. So, against precedents that's already been set by the Supreme Court over and over again, what should happen to such judges?
Yes.
Should they be sanctioned? What is the role of the NJC in this matter?
I think the NJC should look at it. The NJC should look at it. And it's a very critical issue because some of the things that give the judiciary a bad name, and I told the Supreme Court today when I stood up, I've defended the judiciary for 43 years since I became a lawyer. And I'm very proud to have always defended the judiciary, including the Supreme Court. Because like Alexander Hamilton once put it in his Federalist paper number 78, out of the 85 Federalist papers, the Federalists, John Jay, Thomas Jefferson, Madison, Washington, he says the judiciary is the weakest and of the 3 arms of government because it has neither purse nor sword to even defend its judgments. So I've always defended the judiciary as the bastion of democracy and the defender of the common man. I saw that play out today at the Supreme Court. What the Supreme Court did today in their judgments particularly in the Lagos case, the Plateau case, the Kano case, the Cross River State case, even the Bauchi case, is to say that all the judgments were pro-people. They were in defense of the sanctity of the electoral mandate of the people, that the votes of the people should not only be counted, but should be allowed to count. That is why you have been seeing jubilation all over Nigeria. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 29, verse 2, it said the people rejoice when the righteous are in power. That is why you are seeing jubilation across Nigeria. He said of burning, asking. In the Cross River State, for example, which I handled, the Supreme Court in the lead judgment delivered by Justice Ogunwumijo, God bless her, and supported by all the other 4 justices, with Justice Inyango Okoro presiding. She asked the right question. Professor Ono, are you saying that we should nullify the governorship election of Prince Senator Basi Otu, who defeated you by over 76,000 votes out of 266,000 votes? A man who won 15 out of the 18 local government areas based on this technicality. So today I saw a Supreme Court looking at justice, not just the law, but justice. What does justice of the case say? Okay. What do the people want? What is the policy? In the Lagos case, for example, give me a second.
All right then.
I saw the Supreme Court settling for the first time, finally, in the sense of all finality, as in the case of Adegoke Motors Limited versus Adesoya, that the Supreme Court is final, not because it is infallible, but it is infallible because it is final. Today they settled the question of citizenship by birth and dual nationality. If you become a citizen of Nigeria, going by sections 25 and 26 of the Constitution, can we say section 28, which is itself subject to section 25 and 26, can invalidate your citizenship just because you acquired the citizenship of another country and you took an oath of allegiance? In the case of the governorship of Lagos State, the Supreme Court, in a lead judgment read by Justice M.L. Garba, Justice M.L. Garba,
I just want to throw this in because
he analyzed those sections.
I know where, yes.
And said dual citizenship can never disqualify you from contesting for the governorship.
But a lot of people watching now would like to hear your comment on this.
From you.
Okay, very well said. A lot of people watching would like to hear your comment on this. For the Plateau example, which we've seen, call it miscarriage of justice or call it a very bad justice delivered. As a lawyer and someone who's really fought for our judicial, our justice system, what do you think can be done to remedy the situation, if anything, but to talk about those who gave that judgment and even those that the judgment affected the wrong way?
Yeah, thank you. I know you asked this question before. I deliberately skirted around it because I did not want to attack you frontally. Now you have called me back to it. I will attempt an answer. One, we should look at the laws again. Whether House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and senatorial elections should actually stop at the Court of Appeal level. Do they not have justice? Should they not go to the Supreme Court? That is one. What happens to the justices who, in spite of laid down principles of law by the Supreme Court, that nomination, congresses, primaries, membership of political parties are all matters within the realm of a political party, and that no political party or a member of another political party can peep into, through the fence, into the affairs of another political party to ask what they are doing, except you are an aspirant under Section 84 of the Electoral Act and within the meaning of Section 285 of the Constitution. These principles have been laid down by the Supreme Court in a legion of cases, more than 50 in the last 6 months. Didn't the Court of Appeal see these judgments that they went against? What should be done to these justices? I, as a lawyer, 43 years at the bar, I've never written a single petition against a judge, and I'm not going to do that in my remaining days on earth. But I want to say that the NJC, National Judicial Council, should take cognizance of this very serious matter, that it brings the judiciary's name into disrepute and into unnecessary squabbles and disrespect by members of the public. I think the NJC should look at it. I am not going to say that, oh, the people concerned should go and write petitions. I don't believe in petitions. But I think the National Assembly, the legislature should tinker with that law now before more damage is done. Do you know, my brothers and sisters, that those representatives of the people in Plateau State, for example, have all been removed from office now, even though they were voted for by the people? What do you do? Where is the restitution? Integrum. It is a sad commentary on our electoral process. But today, the Supreme Court stood its ground and made very remarkable, ground-shaking and profound pronouncements that have helped to define our electoral jurisprudence. And now today, I told the Supreme Court today, I've defended you for 43 years. I am proud of myself, and I'm not disappointed that I'll be defending you and the judiciary.
Right.
I think something has to be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, so guys, you've heard what he said. Honestly, it's really a worrisome situation in Nigeria. The kind of rulings that our judges just give, you can see that they've caused a lot of havoc. I mean, they've caused a lot of havoc that can't even be reversed. Many people have been denied their positions, those that were legitimately voted for. You know, this I don't even know how to describe the kind of politicians we have. Once you have the money, you know judges, you are connected to judges, you can just come and remove somebody who was elected by the people. And that is what he's saying. Now that the Supreme Court has reversed some of the judgments that the appeal court gave, what punishment should be given to those judges who just came from nowhere and gave judges they cannot even a kind of stand to make case for? They will just give judgment anyhow because they know they have people. Oh my God, Nigerians, a lot is happening in this country. And like I shared with you guys, that this person said, Peter Obi should not even worry going to run should all these mistakes not be corrected, because the situation in Nigeria is really, really so painful, you know, that Peter Obi shouldn't bother running. If we have the same set of judges and then nothing is done, as in nobody is punished for this thing that has happened, you know, and also INEC, all the things that INEC did. INEC cannot conduct one election and Nigerians will come out to praise INEC. Look at the 3 last governorship elections that we had. Look at what happened. Results were already written even before the commencement of elections. Results were already written. So what are we saying? What are we saying? Do you think this person that is making this comment is lying? He's saying the truth. And Peter Obi will always want to tell you that I want to follow the legal way. But the kind of system we have does not even make room for people to stand with, you know, doing things legitimately. That is it, Nigerians. I don't know what you think about all this, but honestly, it's painful watching this country, you know, just going down every day because we have people who are desperate. You can just come out from the thin air and say, oh, you want to become president. And then INEC will help you. The judiciary will help you. Before you know it, no matter the bad records you've had, your bad history, you just become the president of Nigeria. Look at El-Rufai. There was a headline I shared with you guys maybe 2 days ago, where El-Rufai was saying that he would never run with a drug dealer, the worst corrupt person in the country. But all of a sudden, El-Rufai still a kind of supported that same person he was talking about, being the sitting president. And at the end of the day, what happened? INEC declared him to be winner. So it does not even matter the kind of past you have, the kind of history you have. Once INEC declares you and the judiciary, you have judges who can back what INEC said, you make your way to those seats that are very sensitive. So guys, I don't know what you think about all this, but I think it is also a wake-up call for you and I to start lending our voices, that the judicial, that the National Assembly should look at the electoral law. It is time for us to work on it, and then let there be penalties. As in, if people should go contrary to what is stated there, if people should contravene what is stated in the electoral law, they should face the consequences. Let me know what you think about all this, but I think that is my own thoughts. I felt I should share this video with you all. Thank you very much for joining me. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so that you get all our updates. And let's meet again later in the day. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.